Hello, moonbeams. Welcome to our Moonly Tea, the transiting energies of March 11th to the 17th, 2024. My name is Donna Cass. Welcome to my channel, Mystic Moon School. And I am here to offer you the moon energies every single week, every Monday, so that you can navigate through the most personal energies that we feel astrologically. And then every other Thursday, I like to come on and offer you a beautiful, calming, and empowering sound bath meditation. So let's get right into it this week. Of course, I always would love for you to like the video, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and please leave some comments because it really does help me to grow the channel and support as many people as I can. Okay, so this is Monday, March 11th, and we are coming off of that beautiful Pisces new moon that we had yesterday. And of course, the energies were building even on Saturday. And, this is a shift, a big shift that we often feel when we go from sign to sign. But Pisces also is the last sign in the zodiac. And so there could have been a feeling of culmination, of endings, even though it was a new moon. Although I always say in all my classes that whether it's the new moon or the full moon, I always describe it as that swinging door you always see in a restaurant, right? That it's simultaneously always open and closed, right? Endings are always beginnings and beginnings are always endings at the same time. And so with Pisces, because it is the last sign of the zodiac, we are completing a cycle. We are ending the astrological wheel and beginning again. And there is a lot of this energy right now, especially this week. This is actually the final week of Pisces season and the end of the astrological year. So we may be feeling a lot of this ending energy, energy around releasing, being done with things in our life. And so you may feel a burst of energy today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, because now the moon is in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of the self, that fiery energy that is ruled by Mars, the planet of action and vitality. Of course, in its shadow aspects, the moon can, when it's in Aries, can feel like aggressiveness or combativeness, argumentative even. And so you just want to be aware how you're feeling. The moon is always about how we feel. And when you're self-aware about how you're feeling, then you become more self-aware about where your vibration is. And that's always my intent with all of my content, is to help us be more aware of our vibration and then feeling empowered to shift into higher vibrations. Now, of course, that never means I want you to spiritually bypass what you're authentically feeling, because that is an indication of what needs to be looked at. And so if you are feeling aggressiveness, if you are feeling argumentative, take a breath and ask yourself, why is this showing up right now? What am I really feeling around this? Am I feeling a sense of injustice? Am I feeling unseen, unheard? Am I feeling like I need to advocate for myself in some way? And then decide, right? Be conscious about how you want to move through these Aries energies the next couple days, and from a more conscious place, right? And so that doesn't mean don't be assertive or advocate for yourself, but it does mean, in fact, it does mean do those things, but do it from a centered place, a place of self-awareness and a place of being centered and in control of your words, of your actions, right? Because Aries is also taking action. Okay, so you may also be feeling just more vitality these couple of days. So maybe you want to exercise, go for a run, do yoga, whatever it is that you do to move energy through your body. This would be great for Monday and Tuesday to channel that Aries energy that's coming through the moon. The other aspects that the moon is making that I want to touch upon here in the beginning of the week is that the moon is hanging out with three, planets and points that are in Aries. Mercury, which is our planet of communication, how we think. Chiron, the wounded healer, and the North Node. And so while the moon is our internal energies and how we feel, as she meets up with Mercury, which is our communication, and Chiron, the wounded healer, and the North Node, our path forward, our destined path forward, while in Aries, this is about the self. So what and how are you communicating to yourself about your wounds, your healing, and your destined path forward? You may be receiving communication that is triggering to you. That's okay. Ask, what is this here to show me? What is here that I can heal right now, that I can work on the healing aspect right now? And know that whatever is coming up these couple of days, that it is here to move you forward, to evolve you, to move you further on your destined path. You're right on time. You are right on time. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels emotional or sensitive these next couple of days, just know it's coming up for a reason for you to see, to sit with, and then to move through, right? And when you do that, you will come out the other side with more wisdom and an up-leveling so that you can continue on your destined path forward. Then, as we come to Tuesday evening, we are going to feel another shift because the moon is going to move into grounded Taurus energy. And so, actually what I want to say though is before that, just before getting grounded, the moon is also going to aspect Pluto. And while she's in Aries, which is ruled by both Mars and Pluto, you really could feel that there's that evolutionary energy for yourself. So it just may be more pronounced just before the moon moves into Taurus. And so you could wake up Wednesday morning feeling more grounded, and like a more grounded sense of self. That's really what I want to say here. And so whenever the moon is in Taurus, we may feel like more sensual. And what I mean by that really is like by tapping into our five senses, right? So you may want to really have a delicious meal over these next couple days. You may want to beautify yourself in some way, or your home space. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus. So You may want to take a walk in nature, visit an art museum. Whatever is calling to you, just go with that. Feel into that, and explore what other aspects of the five senses are calling to you over these next couple of days. There's also a really beautiful aspect here with Jupiter, and he is really shining his optimism and good fortune to the moon these couple of days. So I love this combination because we're feeling optimistic. We're feeling, really good around whatever it is that our senses are calling to us. And so drink in that glass of half full energy that is coming from Jupiter. Feel optimistic. Feel gratitude. Tap into that energy. Whether you journal or meditate or simply just take a couple of moments, put your hand on your heart and think about all the things, the little things and the big things and everything in between that you're truly grateful for in your life and in your sense of self and how you feel. And that's only going to expand that beautiful Jupiter energy, and you're really going to have that feeling within, and it's going to overflow. It's going to be just beautiful if you can consciously tap into that energy. And I will say, come Thursday, though, that Mars is going to be a little challenging towards the moon. And so we may feel a little bit of that aggression or argumentativeness, or perhaps, it could be coming from others, right? It's not always what we feel within. It can also be what's being reflected to us outside of ourselves. And so just remember that the moon is in Taurus. You can get grounded. Ground in who you are, your sense of self, your sense of integrity. And you don't have to react to others if they're coming at you with a more aggressive energy. You can just ground into who you are, your center, your sense of self, and not react, right? Not react to whatever may be coming at you. Also on Thursday, the moon is also receiving direct energy from the planet Uranus. And so this can play out in any number of ways. It can be a surprise that shows up in your life. It could be an epiphany, right? It's coming from the divine mind. And so we may make those fantastic connections, the things that we didn't see before. All of a sudden, we're like, oh, I get it. I understand now. I love when that happens. And so, be open to receiving anything that's going to connect with you now and come through in that way. If it does feel a little destabilizing with that Mars and Uranus energy, again, come back to the Taurus, grounding, coming into your sense of self, your center. I remember learning some things around when you're feeling anxious, how you can ground into your five senses, come back into your body, take your shoes and socks off, and if you can, walk outside on the earth. And if you can't do that, just walk around in your home space, even with heavy steps. And so you are walking around even in a circle in your room, and you're kind of stomping. You're stomping around, and you are moving that unstabilizing energy, that anxious energy that you feel in your body. You're stomping it into the ground. You can tap into your sense of sight and look at all of the different things in whatever room you're in and name them out loud. Like, I see a plant. I see my laptop. I see a picture on the wall of mountains and the sea. And so what you're doing is you are very consciously moving your energy and your focus to your senses, what you feel, what you see, what you hear. You can do that with taste, right? You can go get a healthy snack or drink something like water with lemon or anything that has some flavor so that you can focus on that and really be consciously focused on whatever it is that your senses are sharing with you in terms of information. And then that's how you can move out of destabilizing or anxious energy. So that's a great thing to practice on Thursday if you're feeling a little destabilized, if you're feeling some anxiety, move through your senses because the moon in Taurus is here to support you in that. Okay, so then come Friday, the moon is going to move into Gemini. And Gemini is the mind. Gemini is an air sign. And so, you could be in your mind a little bit more. You could be really thinking about things. And you could be thinking about things in terms of specifically your responsibilities, where you need some more structure or stabilization in your life, because when the moon moves into Gemini, at some point she's going to be in a tough aspect with Saturn. And so when Saturn is challenging the moon, we're feeling some restriction. We're feeling that need to be responsible and to give ourselves a little more structure and stability. And so you may be doing a little mental evaluation of what you kind of need to step up to when it comes to your responsibilities. And that's not a bad thing, right? Don't be too hard on yourself about it. Just look at it, with clarity. Gemini, the mind, have clarity around what you need to be a little more responsible around and maybe work through, get organized mentally around how you can be more responsible. Gemini will definitely, when aspected in a positive way, which the moon is going to receive a positive aspects from both Mercury and the South Node. So as I mentioned earlier, Mercury is our planet of communication, which, by the way, rules Mercury. Rules Gemini. Gemini and Mercury are one in the same energy. And so it's very simpatico there. It flows very easily. And there's a beautiful aspect from the South Node. So this energy is asking us, what can we release, right? What can we let go of that is kind of too foggy, right? That we're overthinking, that we don't have clarity on. And just let go of those things and lean into what we do have clarity around right now. And so that could be made really clear for us. And you may have some epiphanies around that. Once you're able to let go of what's kind of clogging you up mentally and you have more clarity, then you can move forward. Now, come Saturday, though, the moon will be feeling some pressure from both the sun and Neptune that are both in Pisces. And so over these few days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we may be having a little back and forth around having clarity and then maybe doubting ourselves, right? Having clarity and then it doesn't seem so clear. It seems a little confusing. And so on Saturday, we may be saying, was that right for me? Like the thing that I let go of, maybe it's coming back in for reevaluation. But The other really supportive aspect is the planet Mars. And when Mars is supporting the moon, who's in Gemini, the support is in reflection. That's the type of action, right? Is like, instead of taking physical action, maybe it's supporting us in taking mental action. So contemplating the thing, right, that you're feeling like you want to let go of, reflecting on that. You don't have to necessarily take action here, but you can sit with it and mentally reflect without judgment and without necessarily taking any action, and just sit with it through the weekend. Because come Sunday, the moon is then going to move into the water sign of Cancer. And in her lower expressions, she may feel defensive, protective, and even sidestepping an issue. And so if that is coming up for you, just be aware and ask yourself, what am I trying to avoid here? And instead, perhaps you can move into the energies of nurturing and really feeling nurturing towards yourself in whatever you've perhaps been going back and forth with these past couple of days towards the end of the week. Remember, the whole week is the last week in Pisces season and the astrological year. So if you're going back and forth about releasing, letting things go, triggers that have come up during the week, emotional, mental things that you've been moving through, this is right on time. We don't always have to be so impulsive the way Aries wants us to be. We can sit with things and move through them by reflecting and just sitting with the feelings. And so by the end of this week, on Sunday, when we only have a few more days before the equinox, where we're going to then be in a place of balance, which of course I'll talk about more next week, and in a place of beginning a new astrological year and a new cycle, a new season in Aries, just allow all the things that are coming up that you feel like you're done with. Perhaps have some reflection around what you have moved through in this last astrological year, both mentally, physically in your life, emotionally, right? What have you let go of? What have you evolved through? How have you grown? Take some time to reflect on all of this and tap into the Cancer energy on Sunday of nurturing yourself, feeling at home within yourself. That is a beautiful way to tap into that Cancer energy. And in supporting us in that, the moon is going to be trining Venus, the planet of self-love, right? Of loving on yourself. The two feminine energies in our solar system are the moon and Venus. And so when they come together, it's a beautiful opportunity for us to love on ourselves in whatever way that feels most nurturing for you. It's also a great opportunity to get together with the females in your life, to support one another and to spend time together in a nurturing way. I can tell you that the moon sisters that that are in my moon school, that come to classes every other week for the new and full moons, we are getting together on Sunday, which is actually it's just a beautifully auspicious day to be in groups and to come together in groups. And so if it's specifically, right, in the moon is in Cancer, beautiful feminine energies, and being supported by Venus, more feminine energy, come together with your female friends and family and support one another in and when I say support one another, I just mean, right, in having fun, right, in just enjoying each other's company. And so on Sunday, we're going to have our spring equinox, our feast. Everyone comes, they bring a different dish, whether they like to cook or not, it doesn't matter, right? Just bring something that you want to share with one another, and just share each other's company, right? And so that's what we're going to be doing here on Sunday. And I invite you to make some plans so that you are going to be getting together with some of the women who you feel really supportive of and with in your life on Sunday. And maybe you can celebrate at that time the new incoming spring equinox energies, the new astrological year, because that will be taking place on the 19th, which is on a Tuesday, so it might be harder to get together on that day during the week. So perhaps plan now to get together with your female friends and family on Sunday. There's beautiful supportive energy there. So, we really have a lot of big energy this week. And as I mentioned earlier, you could be feeling a lot of letting go, a lot of releasing, a culmination or graduation energy, because we are really wrapping up this astrological year. It's similar to when, it's that last week in December before, we celebrate on New Year's Eve, how we can reflect on the year that we are ending. And so I invite you to do that as well this week. When you have some time, maybe you can carve out some quiet time for yourself to reflect on the year that has passed and how you've grown and evolved. And then maybe also setting some intentions for this new astrological year and how you want to grow and evolve, the things that you want to work on for yourself, right? And what you're willing to let go of, move on from, and what you're hoping to grow into and experience in this new astrological year. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for this week's moon energies. Of course, I would love to work with anyone one-on-one if you want to see where these moon energies are moving through your natal chart, because the weekly energies that I share with you are moving through the sky, and yes, they absolutely affect all of us on a personal level. But when we look in your own natal chart, we can see precisely what area of life these moon energies are showing up for you. So for example, when we start at the beginning of the week today in Aries, right? When the moon is in Aries, well, then we look in your chart and we say, where is Aries in my chart? What house, what area of life is this being, shown to me? What is being lit up here? And as the moon moves through each sign every couple of days, then it's going to light up another area of life for you. And so it really just does sharpen your self-awareness, and you are able to work with these energies much more personally. And it's really empowering, when and you're aware of these energies, and how can you, if the shadow aspects are coming up around these energies, how can you be aware of them and move through them? And then how can you then move into the highest expressions of each of these beautiful moon energies? And so if you'd like to work with me one-on-one in that capacity, I would really love to support you. You can go to my website, which is www.empoweredmy.com, and you can look to the astrology page and see what offerings I have. You can always just book a 30-minute free Zoom call with me so we can discuss what you're looking for, where you may need support right now, and how we can work together. I will be back this Thursday with a beautiful sound bath for you to support you in regulating the nervous system and raising your vibration. And I think this week the sound bath is really going to be about releasing and letting go so that we can have a clean slate going into the equinox next week, Aries season, and the new astrological year, which I don't know about you, but I am super excited for. Also, if you like poetry, I have written a book of haiku called Hold the Light, Haiku to Connect with Your Highest Self, and you can find that on Amazon. And that, of course, also is to support you in your awakening journey, in tapping into your higher vibrations, and knowing that you are always supported by the universe and your highest self. So with that, I would like to wrap up this podcast. I want to thank you so much for coming to listen, to giving some of your time and energy to this podcast, everything that I have shared, my interpretations, and I really hope that it supports you in this week. If you liked the video, please like it, share with some friends or family, and please subscribe to the channel. If anything kind of resonated with you today, I would love just a brief little comment. It can really help my channel to grow. Thank you so much for your time and energy, and I will see you soon under the moon. Bye-bye for now.